Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the WSBA playoffs here on the Wolverine Studios Twitch channel. We're really excited to be at the playoff stage here in our inaugural WSBA season. The teams have waited all season long for it to come down to this, and we have a look at the playoff brackets here as we get prepared to head into the first round of the playoffs. As always, want to say a huge thank you to our followers. We have now, as GM Games Chris just pointed out, we have surpassed the 400 follower mark. That's pretty awesome for us. I'm pretty amazed that we've hit that mark. So thank you very much for everybody who has followed this channel in the almost year or so now. We've been on Twitch here. Also, big time thanks as always to our subscribers. Whether you're subscribing out of your own pocket or you're subscribing free to the channel with the Amazon Prime, Twitch Prime link, huge thank you. We really appreciate that support. So I see we've got a couple of guys from the league, Jeannie in there and Timmy M94 along with Chris. So we're going to get started here. I'm excited for the playoffs, for the 16 teams that remain. Of course, my team is not one of those 16 teams. I'm looking forward to the draft lottery at the end of the playoffs, as I know a couple other guys are. I'm sure Jedi will be here to to talk about the draft as well as he's preparing his Denver squad for the lottery. CTG, welcome. Those guys are doing great job on streaming. We try to retweet them anytime that they're going live, and so make sure you check those guys out. Jeannie, we are simming the whole first round, so you will see the entire first round here. We'll take it kind of slow here and kind of evaluate each day's games as they go, and we'll see what happens. So good luck to all the teams in the playoffs, and let's get on the road to crowning our first champion. So, opening round here with the East, starting off on the first day. Kickoff, Black says he's going to cry. Don't worry, Memphis, you might have a shot. Everybody's got a shot right now. It's 0-0. Chicago takes game one over Milwaukee. Toronto, game one over Miami. Washington, and Philly. So, looks like home teams carrying the first game here. We'll go and take a look at the box scores here real quick from game one. Foreman only 18 from Milwaukee. He's going to have to be better than that if they want to hang with Chicago. No surprise, Brown 38 and 13. Greer 28. That is a very, very potent combo there. Toronto and Miami, game one. Dimitrova, Kennedy combined for 54. Logan only 19 from Miami. He's going to have to be better than that if they want to hang in that series. Even on points in the paint in that game, 46 apiece. Brooklyn and Washington. Brooklyn offense let them down. They only gave up 110. That's usually enough for Brooklyn to score a victory. But no answer for Hopper with a triple-double, 37, 11, and 11. Delea had 30 for Brooklyn, so he brought the offense. Tarkanian disappointing with only 9. Oliver only 12. And absolutely not much of anything off the bench for Brooklyn. Look at that, points in the paint dominance, 52-30 for Washington in game one. And they outscored them on the break by 10 as well. And Boston and Philly in that first game, Warren 19, 10, and 6. Evans had 26 for Boston. Nice job off the bench for Philly, the bench mob, coming in with 11, 18, and 12 there, Jepson, Flores, and Abney. So chalk for game 1 for the East. And now we've got game 2 in the East and game 1 for all of our Western teams. Here we go. Chicago squeaks by with a 2-0 lead. Toronto 2-0. Washington almost the same score. Hopper, man, what a game. Philly. So in the East, we're holding 2-0. Golden State gets a win over Memphis. Memphis loses Derek Taylor with a strained knee. Portland gets that upset. And we talked about Portland. We said they'd be dangerous. And they get they steal home court by beating New Orleans 120-113. OKC, of course, easy win there over Houston. Roberts with 37. Sambadashvili triple-double with 16, 14, and 11. Houston just really doesn't have much of a shot in this one. Golden State with a 20-point victory over Memphis. Brum is back, but he had 10 and 12. Taylor, 36. 18 for Tennell off the bench. And Taylor has a strained knee. He's out, so he is out for the rest of this round. That's going to make a very difficult task, even more difficult for Memphis. Portland with that upset behind 35 from Cleaver and 23 from Chambers. New Orleans got 40 out of Turner, but that wasn't enough, as Cleaver was the player of the game. So look at those second chance points, 28-13 for Portland. Portland doing some work on the boards there. Memphis is ready for off-season trades. And Utah, we talked about the Commodores struggling with the loss of Gray. Luton was their other all-star. He only had 18. 30 from Tony and 23 from Lay. Out east, Milwaukee and Chicago had a close one there. Foreman had 38. That's the key. He's got to have a big game, but it just wasn't big enough. Greer and Brown combined for 58. 50 points in the paint combined to 28 for Milwaukee. CTG asks, how many seasons are we going through? This is the first season. We're just taking it nice and slow. Miami and Toronto, and tonight we're just simulating the first round of the playoffs. Logan, again, only 16. That's not going to be enough to beat Toronto, especially when Dimitrova goes for 43 and 16 in 43 minutes. So Toronto really leaning on their start. Kennedy with 37 minutes and another strong game. Look at those plus numbers, 20, plus 23, plus 22. Very impressive for Toronto. Brooklyn has failed to score 100 points in either of their first two games here. DeLea only 15 this time. Metcalf and Oliver did their job, but DeLea fell short. And Hopper, again, 41, 17, and 9. Hopper is just a beast. Zubac with 22 off the bench in 38 minutes. Kittle's only played 6 minutes. Maybe it was an in-game injury for Kittles. He doesn't seem to be injured at this point. And we have Boston, who got kind of blown out by Philly there. Mitchell with 32. Warren. Slow game for Warren, but it looks like Boston just doesn't have enough to keep up with Philly in this series. All right, game 2 for the West. And Brooklyn says DeLay has pretty much given up on the team ever since the fight he had with one of the guys on the team. So that trade maybe not paying dividends like Brooklyn thought it would. OKC with another win. Golden State goes up 2-0. New Orleans evens the score. They needed that one in Utah. So far only one road victory in the first set of games. We know what the OKC and Houston deal is. That's not going to be a very exciting series. Taylor with 28. Memphis. Sproul had 30 off the bench, so trying to give him some life. But just not enough. Golden State's an excellent team. Portland and New Orleans, this is so far the most interesting series here of round 1. Turner goes for 25 this time. 25 for Clark off the bench. Slow night for Cleaver and Chambers. And I think that's going to be the story. If those guys get hot, Portland's going to win. And if not, then Portland's pretty average. All right, let's. We don't have owners for Houston or OKC, so we won't check that game. LA and Utah. LA is in trouble. Migley, 36-14. Luton's got 19. Demambi, also a very good player for LA, 28, but they're really missing Gray. All right, here we go. On to game 3. Let's see if any of the Eastern Conference road teams who now have moved to the home side can pull out a victory and make it a series. Alright, sorry we had to take care of some spam there. Milwaukee scores the upset there over Chicago. Miami over Toronto. Brooklyn over Washington. Boston over Philly. All of them. All the teams who were down 2-0 score a victory to make it 2-1. There's Foreman with 39. They did a good job holding Brown down. Greer got his 24. Rough second quarter for Chicago, only 10 points. That proves to be the difference in that game. Toronto falls 90-98 as Logan has 18, Neely with 23. Miami's got to just keep it slow and junky. That's the only way they're going to beat Toronto. Washington. Brooklyn, finally the offense showed up. That's what they needed. 30 out of Oliver, 26 out of Metcalf. DeLay with 14, Thomas 16. And they held Hopper to only 24, 9, and 9 with 8 steals. So slow night for Hopper. And that guy's making a real good case for MVP, I think. CTG Orlando is waiting for the lottery. That's where I am. Philly and Boston. Boston. Uh, 41 out of Mitchell. Not enough, though. As Warren, only 18 from him. So, quick save here as we get ready to move into The next games for the West. Game 4 out east here, and game 3 for the West. Let's see if any of the Western teams can pull the 2-1, and of course we've got New Orleans and Portland deadlocked at 1. Chicago goes up 3-1 over Milwaukee. Miami evens the series. Brooklyn evens the series. And Philly goes up 3-1 over Boston. Golden State with a victory there. Portland in a huge scoring game. And Utah goes up 3-0. And the biggest surprise here, Oklahoma City drops 1. 87-91 to Houston. The New Orleans-Portland game was overtime, 141 to 151. Cleveland with 46 on the night. Lee Taylor had 37. Chambers 26 assists in overtime. Memphis on the ropes now, down 3-0. I think it's... let's try to move ahead one more time before we go back to the box scores, just because it's taking a little bit long doing it that way. Here we go. OKC and Houston 2-1. Golden State looking to finish off Memphis. Portland got control of the series again. And Utah looking to finish off LA. Golden State over Memphis. Portland over New Orleans. Utah over LA. And because we don't have OKC or Houston owners, that game goes by so fast. OKC with the win, 131-124 over Houston. Golden State completes a sweep over Memphis. Utah completes a sweep over LA. Memphis put up a valiant effort in this series, but injuries and just playing a really good Golden State team. As Taylor goes for 41 in the closeout game there. Kid Coffee says, no, we didn't. I was trying to give you something, Kid Coffee. Utah, no surprise, closing out LA. Although Migley only had 9 points that game, 17 minutes, fouls out. So LA had a good plan there, but just not enough. And Portland, 40 out of Chambers. That's what it's going to take. Big games out of Chambers and Cleaver. All right, back on the East here. Chicago looking to close out the series. Toronto and Miami deadlocked. Washington and Brooklyn deadlocked. And Philly looking to close it out as well. Yeah, we need the gone fishing. There you go. Chicago finishes them off. Toronto with a home win. Washington, home team again. And Philly gets the job done over Boston. John London, 35 for Chicago. Dimitrova, 15 rebounds. Reese, 14 assists. Let's see, we'll hit it with a quick save again. We'll check out those box scores. There's a 35 out of London, 29 out of Greer, 22 out of Brown. Foreman had 32 in the effort, but just not enough. Not a surprise, though. Toronto and Miami. Logan with 22, Jones with 32. Dimitrova and Kennedy still very solid for Toronto. Got a little bit of bench effort out of Startwout and Allen. That 29-13 first quarter, just too much for Miami to come back from. Brooklyn and Washington. Brooklyn knew they needed a lot of points to win this series. Hopper 27, 8, and 11, 3 blocks. 32 out of Delea. They got to get more out of Oliver. Oliver and Metcalf combined for 0 for 9 for threes. They shoot 4 for 29 for the game for threes. That's not going to win him any games. And Philly with a close one there over Boston. Finally a bigger game from Warren. Mitchell's been really good this series, though. Warren had 24-7, 6, 2 blocks, and 4 steals. So all around, great effort out of Warren that time. And that's usually when Philly is their best, is when Warren is going to work there. OKC looks to close out Houston, and can Portland pull off the upset and close out New Orleans? Nope. New Orleans holds on. As OKC finishes the job with Houston. Chambers and Cleaver had combined for 69 points, and another huge assist game for Chambers, but just not enough. Clark 34 off the bench again for New Orleans. Turner, he's one of their better players. He had 19. Close game all the way around. Fast break points. Portland 29-6. Still not enough though to win, as New Orleans finishes it off in the final quarter. Plus 8 there. It's a good series. All right, here we go. Miami and Brooklyn trying to stay alive with home victories. Can they do it? Miami stays alive, and Dimitrova has a broken nose. Brooklyn stays alive. Terrible news for Toronto. As Miami and Brooklyn will push those to a final and decisive Game 7. Dimitrova played 39 minutes. He gutted it out. But that broken nose will keep him out for the rest of the playoffs, it looks like. So it's possible it happened at the end of the game as well. Terrible luck for Toronto there. We'll see. We'll see what happens there. Logan with 28 or 21, Jones with 28. And Brooklyn keeps their hopes alive despite a huge game out of Hopper. Delea had 34, Metcalf 25. This time they shoot 38.7% from 3. And Washington shoots a paltry 28.1% on their threes. What a good series that is, Brooklyn and Washington. All right, one more chance here for Portland to close it out at home before they have to go back on the road. And they do it. 45 for Cleaver as Portland pulls off the first upset of round 1. And an upset that it wasn't a surprise to me. I called Portland winning that one. 45 and 12 for Cleaver. Chambers 24 and 19. Harris with 20. Clark has been fantastic off the bench for New Orleans. He's going to have to get some... Well, he's getting a lot of minutes at 35 there, so he got plenty of time. Must be like a sixth man type deal that New Orleans is trying to do with him. So here we go. We will finish off round one. Toronto minus Dimitrova at home, and Washington at home against Brooklyn. Good luck to everybody. Here we go. And Miami pulls off the upset. Washington holds serve against Brooklyn. And yeah, no Dimitrova means the Toronto Dinos are going home. We'll take a look at those box scores. And Jeannie says Hopper got hurt. We'll have to check that out too. Nope, no Dimitrova. Logan gets loose for the first time really in the series with 36. And Toronto's offense just suffered without Dimitrova. Kennedy did his job, but that's a terrible break for Toronto with Dimitrova. And Washington and Brooklyn, a very hard-fought series as well. Hopper with 43, 17, and 11 in the finale. And he had some back spasms, so he's going to miss a couple days into the second round. But he'll be back. So not terrible news for Washington. Not good news, but could have been worse. So let's take a look at the brackets here. OKC will host Utah. Golden State against Portland. OKC probably shouldn't have too much trouble with Utah. Golden State and Portland's going to be a fight. That is going to be a heck of a series, I think. Chicago and Philly. Been looking forward to that one. Again, Chicago, has been the best in the East, but if Warren gets going, I think Philly's got a shot. I think Philly, they're going to show up, and as long as Warren plays well, they're going to be in games. Washington and Miami. Again, Miami getting a little bit of a lucky break in this one with Hopper being injured for the start of it. They got a huge lucky break to get past Toronto without Dimitrova. So that could be an interesting series. I think as long as Hopper gets back and doesn't miss too many games, and if he's going to be out for 8 days, the first game is... Oh, it hasn't set the schedule yet for the next round of games. It's probably like 2 days away. He's probably going to miss the first 2 games of the series at least. So Washington will have to hold on early. Otherwise, Miami could pull a surprising upset there as well. So that was a really exciting first round. Congratulations to the teams who have advanced. CTG wants to pull off the playoff league leaders. We can do that. So Lee Taylor, the top scorer in the playoffs so far with 35.5. Hopper with 32. Cleaver, 32. Foreman and Dimitrova. You lose 30 points a game, and that was just too much for Toronto to come back from. Chris wants to know who hurt Dimitrova. That guy's going to be on the target list next year. Danny Brum was the leader in rebounds in round 1, 14.3 and 2.9 blocks. So even though he didn't score very much for you, Kid Coffee, he was doing some work there defensively. Warren, the leader with 10.3 assists. Oh, that was during the regular season. That doesn't update it for the playoffs. Sorry. I was going to say, why is Ryan Sankey's there? But that doesn't update for the playoffs. And yeah, Chris has signed Bill Laimbeer. He's ready. Bringing out the bad boys in Toronto next year for their rematch with Miami. All right, so thank you everybody for coming out tonight. We'll be back next Tuesday with round 2, which should give us some very exciting matchups in both conferences. We've got some really good series that I think we're going to see in round 2. So thank you all. Congratulations to the teams who have moved on. And thanks for everybody coming tonight. Thank you to our followers, especially our new followers and our subscribers. Huge thank you to all of you guys for supporting the channel. We will be back next Tuesday at 8 o'clock for round 2 of the WSBA. Until then, everybody have a great rest of your week. Have a great weekend. Enjoy the rest of the NCAA tournament. Go Blue tonight. Hopefully Michigan makes it to the Final Four tonight. And we will be back next week. So thanks everybody for coming out, and we will see you very soon. Take care.